I'm Danny, and this is the Scream Princess podcast. Hello there, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the Scream Princess podcast. And I am so excited today because I'm being rejoined by one of my very first guests from the very first show, one of my very best friends, Megan Lockhurst. How are you?
No, I'm good. I'm so happy to be back.
We've been saying for ages, I was like, I need to bring you back. Like when I first started, I was like, we'll bring you back on. I had you and Cheryl together, and I was like,
Yeah.
we'll bring you back on solo to so you can talk about your own stuff rather than kind of the three of us. And it's just taken this long to get there. And we're over halfway through the year now. So today I released episode 27, so obviously it's like the first week of the second half of the year. And it's gone so quickly this year.
It's gone really fast. Yeah, I feel like my year started off with such a bang because I was on set. I was up in Scotland for about 2 weeks and I was like, yes, this is great. This is everything's go, go, go. And it has been so quiet since.
Yeah.
It's shocking. Yeah. But
It
it's.
happens. But at least it's warm where you are. Well, not today, but at least you've got like summer to enjoy. Whereas I'm in the
Yes.
northeast and we've just and actually it's not raining today. And it did say it was meant to rain. And I kind of plan what I'm doing in the week. I'm like, right, if we've got a sunny day, that's my day where I go outside. And other days I'll be like, I'll do bits at home. And today it was meant to rain and it hasn't. It's grey, but it hasn't rained.
That's nice though. See, we have been hit with such high levels of heat that it's uncomfortable. Like in Canada, you've got aircon and stuff, so you can
Yeah.
escape it. Whereas here, you're just melting into a puddle, and it's really hard to get motivated as well when you're so
Yeah.
hot.
Well, my
Um,
house is like in the winter it's freezing and I've got like really good heating, but and once the heating's on, but it just has to stay on the whole time, otherwise it gets cold straight away. And my bathroom in the winter is like you can see your breath in there. It's like ice. It's so cold. Whereas in the summer, everywhere is just really hot. And I think I've kind of acclimatized it and I didn't realize. And then yesterday, my friend came in, like we went on a hike yesterday, and he popped in first and he was like, it's so hot in here. And I took the rubbish out and then I came back in and I was like, oh yeah, no, from coming outside to going back inside, I realized how warm it is.
yeah.
Like
It has been cold up north though. Like
we've
we
had
took
ridiculous weather. It's like we've had no summer. We've had 2 hot days last week. And those were days where I was busy, so I couldn't enjoy it. And then it's just like forecast rain for the foreseeable future. I think tomorrow is meant to be nice, but it's again on a day where I'm busy. So,
need to
like,
come down. You need to come back
honestly, I haven't
east.
been to the beach for ages. I was going to go to the beach yesterday, and then we ended up doing a different hike, which was lovely. And we timed it really well. So the sun came out, and then it started drizzling just as we got to the car. So I was like, this is
That is good.
perfect timing.
Yeah, I love that you still walk. You're so much
Yeah.
better than me. I've given up on walking.
You gave up on walking ages ago with that 7 minute rant about sheep.
I've seen enough fields and sheep, I think, to last me a lifetime. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I've hung up my boots.
That was the funniest, me and Cheryl.
It's
So
funny, isn't it? Like, because we used to get out all the
I think
time.
it was like the lockdown or after lockdown when it was like you couldn't do much other stuff. And like we ended up, I think myself and Cheryl were a bit naughty. Like we met up in lockdown outside and went hiking a lot. And we'd like drive to somewhere that's in the middle. Neither of us lived anywhere near each other. And we'd like do different hikes, which because I wasn't a hiker before lockdown. It was like it just happened. And then obviously after lockdown, when you were allowed to join us, we started doing lots of what was and it was like warm, wasn't it? And then we did that camping trip for my birthday and yeah, we
Running
did
Man.
yeah, I think it was that mountain that kind of put you off. We did Scarfell
Oh,
hike
we
and
did.
yeah, after that you were
Like
like,
because we did where did we go the next day? Was it
well, so you
Avebury?
liked that one. We
I
went to
like
Avebury, yeah.
that was
Yeah.
a good I like it if we see cool things.
Yeah.
Waterfalls always pleasing me.
Yeah.
It's just when you get on those really tedious stretches of land,
Yeah.
there's nothing but angry cows and sheep that are like eyeing you. I am convinced that if I spent a night in a field, I would be eaten by sheep. I'm just
I
convinced.
mean, you probably wouldn't. They're not were sheep. I think there was a movie about that, but I feel like you'd be okay. But yeah, we did some tough ones. I think Scarfell Pike because it was drizzling and we were cold and it was, it was windy and I think that was one of those ones you're climbing a mountain. It's like, okay, this isn't necessarily going to be enjoyable, but when you finish, you're going to feel like you've accomplished something.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily an enjoyable hike. And then my birthday, we went to where did we go? Dorset, and we
Oh,
did a
Dirtle Door.
yeah, because we did a few different things, didn't we? But one of the days we did this really long hike, and some of the like, I mean, the hills, or I mean, it was like the cliff top walk, but you're like going up and you're down, and it's like some of them were like nearly vertical, and it was really tough. And we had the dog with
Got you
us.
through it. Do you remember you and Cheryl were like, you're like, we can't do it. And I was
I
so
honestly had this dog in a backpack on my back, and this hill looked almost vertical. And like if you take a step, you're going to literally fly down. And Megan's like, "Give me the dog. I'm a Canadian. I will lead you."
I was so hungry. Nothing will stop me when I want food.
What did we
I'm
do? Go like finish the walk and then go and barbecue? I think that's
Yeah,
what.
we
Yeah,
went back to the campsite, threw on some logs. Then I think you went to bed.
I did.
We were terrified we were going to wake you up because we stayed up just to watch the fire for a little more. And I kid you not, we kept tripping over you, and Dolly was running up and down you, and you were just gone to the world.
Yeah, but after that walk, are you surprised? Like, I'm really hard to wake up anyway. I sleep through thunderstorms and, I can sleep through all sorts. Like people are always complaining around here about the seagulls, but we live 5 minutes from the beach. You're going to get seagulls. And I've got some nested on my roof at the moment with babies. And I can
Yeah.
kind of hear them a little bit, but they just don't bother me. Like I can sleep through it. But
I
yeah, I would have
yeah.
been super tired that day after. It was like 17 miles or something. I don't think it was 17 miles.
It
It was
was-
like
no,
17
I think it
kilometers.
was. I think it was like
No, I think it was
75.
kilometers, but I think it felt like miles because we were going up and down these like giant hills. And there was
Yeah.
this man and he was running and we were struggling like just to walk this. And there was this guy and he was running and we were like, how is he doing it? And we kind of convinced ourselves that he was actually like a ghost because the running would have killed him. And he's just, this is like his loop that he's doing.
Yeah, because years later as well, somebody had said to me they did that hike
Yeah.
and saw the same man. And I'm like,
How do they know it was the same man?
so a ghost. Yeah, well,
It's the
I assume
same
it
man.
was because he was running. Who else would
Mm.
run that?
Well, I don't know. Really fit people, that is not us.
Not me, not me. I am a go to the cafe girl, have a cup of coffee, eat a big
Yeah.
croissant, and then I'm done
No,
for
I
the day.
do like a hike. Yesterday, like even hills, there wasn't many hills, but there was a couple of hills. And I was like, the hills are so hard. I just don't like hills. It's because I grew up in Norfolk, which is a place where it's completely flat. We don't have any hills there. It's like the flattest land, like probably anywhere.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm not used to it. But the Northeast is very hilly. Like it's beautiful though. You guys have to come up. And like when we have
Yes.
in a few weeks time when actually we may have some summer and then the sea will be a bit warmer and we can actually like do stuff because I feel like this like I feel like we've missed out actually because I've worn this today. It's my do you know love the film Practical Magic?
Yes.
And go for the midnight margaritas. And I feel like on all of our little sleepovers, we've never done midnight margaritas. And I feel like we've missed a trick. So you guys need to come up and then we can set an alarm because I go to bed at about like 7 o'clock. And then we'll set an alarm and we'll get up at midnight and make margaritas.
Do you know, I'm the same. I don't love staying up late these
No.
days. Like I think the other day I was in bed by 7:58, asleep
Oh,
by 8. Brad couldn't, he could not wake me. I was gone. I was gone to the world.
yeah.
Uh, but are you an early riser?
Well, I am, but only because, well, yes, I'd get up usually myself around 6:30, but Magic, the delightful little kitten that she is a 4:30 riser and she wants her breakfast and she is relentless. Like if she wants feeding, she just like so her noise wakes me up and she darts across me and she starts attacking the plants around the bed or like the fairy lights around the bed, which is stuff she doesn't do any other time of day. It's just to wake me up, and like she'll annoy me to the point where I'm like, okay, I'll get up and feed you, which I know is the wrong thing to do, but she wouldn't stop. She won't give in. And I've started like she doesn't like aerosol cans. So I started just shaking one. Like I've never sprayed her with it, but I started just shaking one so she runs off. And I did that a few times a day. She actually did go and she came back to bed and went to sleep. So I was like, maybe this is what I need to do so that she learns to get out of the habit. But like usually it's when Kyle's here and then he has to get off of work. So I don't want her to wake him up. So I'll just get up and feed her and then I'll go back to bed. And then like he gets that extra like hour or something, which I suppose if you've got a job that you're working all day, you need. And I don't really. So I
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Dell
yeah.
gets me up at about, he's normally about 6 for his food. And
Mm.
then and I know if I feed him, he'll just come back to bed and he won't bother me. If I don't feed him, I get whacked in the
Yeah.
face. I get like,
Yeah.
or he started doing this thing where he'll make himself throw up.
Oh no, which you don't want on your bed.
No, I don't want it
No.
on my lovely floor. But he knows that is the quickest thing that will get me up is
That's
if
so
I
funny. That's so naughty. They are really naughty. Like midnight will wake you up, but he just wants to be stroked. And then you kind of think, oh, that's quite sweet. And then that doesn't really bother me. Like he'll do that in the middle of the night. And then he'll be straight for a little while. And then he'll like cuddle up and go back to sleep. And it's like, well, that's quite sweet. I don't really mind that. But it's the feeder thing. And she like she'll do it in the daytime as well. She gets fed like 4 times a day. Because like things if I was out, she'd get fed like twice like a normal cat. But because I'm home, she'll just bug me until like I can
That's
give her
it.
something to eat. Like she's constant.
Cheeky kitten. How old are they
But
now?
go on.
How old are they?
They were 1 in April. So what are we in? May,
Oh,
June, July. 1.25 years old.
quarter.
I know. I know.
Oh, that's sweet. Dell's 1.5 now.
Is he 1.5 now?
Is I took him to the shop today to buy him a treat. And
Does he have like a 1.5-year-old birthday? Like, does he
I
get like,
will. I'll do his two. He'll have a big 2-year-old
oh.
birthday. So for his first birthday, we took him to the pub.
I forgot the cat's birthdays. And then I was like, yeah. And then it was like a few days later and I was like, I'm sure we got the cats like they must be about one. And I was like, oh no. So I bought them treats. Um,
Oh,
a
I do love
little
them.
tunnel thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. No, I do love having him around, but yeah, it's tiring. It's very
I
tiring.
suppose you got quite a big dog. Like I was like I know I'm definitely a little dog person because they can just chuck them in your handbag and carry them if you need to and like they're just easy. But Dell's quite big and like he's
Yeah,
like quite hard to handle.
he's so good. I mean, let me show you. Oh,
Oh, Dell.
look,
Hi.
what's he doing?
Hi.
He's
Oh,
like
he is cute.
he's like he
There
just
used to
woke
be
me.
so he's a bagel, isn't he? He's like a basset crossed
Bagel dog.
beagle. He's a bagel. But they used to do that. Was there a cartoon? Was it like Droopy Dog? He was a beagle.
Stupid dog.
Yeah, do
Yeah,
you remember that? He's like he looks like one of those. He could be like
he
he
looks
could do a
like
good caricature.
I want to I'm signing him up to a pet agency. Because he always like on the street, he always gets stopped for photos and stuff.
Does he? Does he do
And
tricks?
he does. He can now turn around and he does both paws. He refuses to he
He's
refuses
camera shy.
to lie down. And so I can't get him to lie down, but he'll do paw and then turn around.
Oh.
Um, so he'll do that. And he's very good. If if I go out of the room, like if I go to the bathroom, he will sit there with the saddest howl you could ever hear. And he's just, yeah, I don't, where's your
The
head?
cats have to come in with you. You have to leave the door open, otherwise I'll just scratch the paint off the door trying to get in. When I'm in the bath, one sits on the toilet, one sits on the side of the bath. And when you're in the loo, they're just like brushing around your legs. They're like, there's no privacy, none whatsoever.
No, they like to know what's going on, don't
Yeah,
they?
yeah, they like to keep you company. It's
Yes.
kind of sweet, kind of sweet. So
Ah,
I realized like the stuff I don't know about you because I was thinking, what am I going to ask Megan? Because we've gone over how we, the first podcast. So if you don't know how me and Megan know each other, you need to watch the very first episode. But we met on a film called Mannequin.
yeah.
Shorts. That's the short story, and we've been friends ever since. So that was like 2019,
Like
20.
it was before lockdown.
It
So it
was
must have been 2018, 2017.
2018, 2019 or something. Yeah, so it was like ages ago now. Um, and so obviously you're an actress and you've done a lot of horror. I know you're now doing like some action stuff and you kind of moved on into like other genres, but you are from Canada. You hail from Canada. But what I don't know is, were you acting before you moved to the UK? or was that something that happened afterwards?
I mean, I've always like from a young child, I was always into musical theater. I was a theater kid. At school, that's all I wanted to do, and I loved vocal lessons. I was a singer. So when I got out of school, so back then, I won't go into dates, but back then, um, uh, you left high school at 18. And then you could go to college or university. University in Canada is very much for like being a scientist or there's re like a doctor, that kind of thing,
Hmm.
veterinarian. Whereas college is more business. It's if you want a business degree, things like that. So it's very different than over in the
Yeah,
UK.
because here we'd go school, college, university. Like college is like the in-between thing, and we
And
did
it
school.
always confuses me. So like
Yeah.
I've got a lot of friends who have kids and they're like, "Oh, they're in this and that." And I'm like, "So how old does that make them?" And they're
Well, it's
having a
different now though,
problem.
because we used to leave school at 16 and now I think it's 18. Like they have to stay on to do A levels or something. So well,
Okay.
I'm not sure if that is true. I heard it
Yeah.
was something like that. So I think it has changed since I
Yeah.
went to school anyway.
Yeah. And like me, neither of us have kids, so I mean, I have
Thank
no
God.
I have no idea. Yeah, it wouldn't suit me either.
No.
But it's yeah, so it was like you got out, and I grew up in such a small town. It's one of the biggest growing cities now in all of Ontario. It's called Milton. And back in the day, it was like something like Stand By Me, the film Stand By Me, which I often describe it as, where it's just like there was nothing to do. There was like a corner shop, um, little old people on their rockers with their guns, and
With their guns.
yeah, kid you not. Like, and guns weren't really a big thing back then, so sort of 90s, but you still were allowed to have them. And people went hunting a lot, things
Hmm.
like that. So everybody was quite outdoorsy because there was nothing to do. So I was always climbing trees and all that kind of stuff. And because of the world, and it was such a small bubble. Everybody knew everybody. Most people would just stay there. They'd never really adventure out. And I was like, I don't know. I don't want to go to university or college because I don't know what I want to do with my life. Which I think a lot of people, felt like that at the time. You were never told that acting was a career. You were never told that you could be a singer. It was just like,
Mm.
no, you have to fit into a box, which didn't suit me because I've never, my whole life, I've never fit into that general box.
Yeah.
Um, and so I had the opportunity to leave and travel Europe with a friend. And over here, I then decided I'll be a singer. I'm going to be a singer. I'm going to be a rock singer, very Avril Lavigne, being on stage, my little plaid skirt and all that kind of stuff. And I did that for years. So it was just like all of a sudden moving to England and having the West End here and having more of a creative society and group around you. And London is amazing for that.
Mm.
All of a sudden, possibilities started to become real, and you could touch it, you could see it, you could see people doing it. So yeah, in answer to the question, I was always that theater kid at heart, but because nobody ever really told me you could do it and it was a possibility, they very much stamped that down to put you in
Mm.
that box. I didn't really get into it until I came to the UK. And even then, it was 2000. I was here 10 years before I would ride a train by myself. I was
Oh my
terrified.
God. So you moved to a country because I was going to say that's really brave moving to another country like on your own. Like I don't think I could move to another country. Like maybe if it was like me and like Kyle moved to another country, I'd be like, okay, there's two of us. Or like, if I went with one of you girls and or like the friend
Yeah.
and it's like you're together, like but I'm just like, there's no way I'd go to a country by myself. Like I wouldn't I know people like travel on their own. Like I'll go somewhere if I've got like a destination, like I've flown to the States and stuff on my own, like when I'm working. But I wouldn't like just go, right, I'm just gonna go on a holiday by myself abroad. I'd be terrified.
Well, I did have a friend, so I wasn't by myself doing it. And he was British. He was
Oh, okay.
Canadian, but he was British. But because of that, he already had sort of a British in. So we stayed with his nan, who actually used to be the babysitter for Andrew Lloyd Webber. So it was just
Funny.
like Like that's how close everything started to become. So once you put the pieces together, all of a sudden it's just like, oh, there's possibilities in the world that you can like actually do this. And I'm sure there's like Canadians and stuff, definitely, that would be like, no, no, of course you can, but it seems so far off. What's the cat doing? I can
I don't
see she,
know. He's been in the bedroom and he's been doing something. Now he's in the hall and he's like, but I can't see. He's like, I don't know what he's attacking, whether it's air. Like, I was worried that it's a spider because you know when you can't see and you're like, I don't know. I think he's just got maybe some, it might just be some of my hair, like from my hair.
Del, seriously, Del has a thing about flies at the moment, and he will stomp them into the ground if he catches them. And spiders. I've seen him do it to a spider too. So
Well,
it's,
when I first got them, they killed a spider on like day two of having them. Like I'd been in the bathroom, there was a spider, and I tried to get it, and it like went in a hole. So I was like, oh, and I can't see for the spider in the house. Anyway, I did go to bed, and the next day. I went into the bathroom and there was the spider is the same one was in the kitchen, but it was like head and its legs and its body were like separated and they'd killed it and just like
oh,
separated it. And I was like, I'm so proud. Not that I, condone violence, but I don't like spiders and
oh no,
cats are
spiders are
hunters.
not your
So
thing. Yeah.
yeah. They're not really very good. They don't really play with their toys or anything though. So I always wonder if they'd be very good hunters. But they have caught a fly before, but they let it go. I like watch them
And
do it and then they let it
you've
go.
let them outside recently, haven't you?
Well, I've opened the door, so they were indoor cats because just because like cats aren't actually natural to the UK, so that's like a human thing. We've brought them here, and like so they're not good for our wildlife. Obviously, they catch birds and they catch mice and whatever. Also, it's not safe really for the cats, I don't think. Like you've got so many cars, like maybe, 100 years ago where there was no cars on the road, but now, cats wander and you've only got to go like one or two streets unless you live completely in the middle of nowhere. There's busy roads, and I'd like to know my cats are safe and they have everything they need at home. So they're indoor cats, but one of my neighbor's cats, like, so no one lived in here for like 3 years really before I bought it. And so the yard outside was just like no one had done anything with it. It's like a concrete, like it's horrific. But this cat had been using it as a toilet, and like there was no door on the shed, and it had used the shed as a toilet. Like you should see the pile of poop that I collected. It was like something from Jurassic Park. And
Oh.
so when I had workmen in like doing the yard, like so they were like fixing some walls and like doing the floor, like even when it was a building site, this cat would still get over and poop, and I'd be like, well, how is it doing? So I've put, those spikes you get, not the metal ones, not the like dangerous ones, but like plastic ones. I've put spikes all around the top. And so the cat actually, touch wood, has not come in to the yard. So it's been a few weeks now since I've done it, and it's not come and pooped in the yard. And
That's
then I thought,
good.
well, actually, the cat can't get in, but also now means mine can't get out. So I've opened the door when I've been outside so that they can come out. But at midnight, it's not having it at all. He goes to like the top of the stairs and he's just like, no, don't want to go out there. And then Magic comes down the stairs and she's stepped out onto like, then I've got more stairs. I've got some like stone stairs. She stepped out onto the stairs, but she won't like actually step onto the grass. And like, I've even had my yoga mat out there and I thought, well, she stands on my yoga mat in the house. Maybe she'll jump from the step to the yoga mat, but she's like, no, the floor is lava. So, and I'm not sad about it. Like, I think it'd be nice for them to go out there when it is warm, like if I'm out there, but I just prefer to keep them safe.
I'd be the same. I don't think I would have outdoor cats, especially
Yeah.
here. There's a lot like every day on the Billericay Facebook group. It's
Yeah.
like other cats,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly
saying,
the same. I'm on the
not
South
I
Shields
put in,
one and I'm
yeah,
on the
I
South Tyneside one, and it's exactly the same. Like you'll see like a million posts about cats being hit. And so,
I couldn't do
yeah,
that. Yeah.
I just don't think,
Maybe.
I don't think they're supposed to be outside. I mean, most rescues and things now, like if a cat's like used to being outside, but a lot of them will say like indoor cats, you should have indoor cats.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but
Oh, yeah, I couldn't. Even like you got to be so careful here. Because people are breaking into gardens and stealing
mm,
people's dogs at the
yeah,
minute. And so like I can't if my dogs are outside, I got to be outside. I got to keep an
yeah.
eye. Like
I always
it's
think that when you see people with, people have sometimes like a little front porch and the dog's out there and people are just walking past. I think it'd be so easy for someone just to snatch. I would
yeah.
never have let my
I,
dogs
I
out and
can't do
about
it.
on their own.
Yeah,
Mm,
I can't do it.
no.
I think I'd go very gray very fast.
That's it. I'd be stressed like the whole time until they came home and worrying about them until they got home. I'd be like, where are they? Why aren't they home? Are they locked in somewhere? Have they been run over? It would
Yeah.
it would worry
Yeah.
me.
Not for me, my dear. It's not for me. So there's something I want to ask.
Oh God.
Okay.
Okay. This is like the other way around. Go on.
I'm interviewing you. So we were talking. I have recently
I'm nervous.
I've recently fallen in love with roller skating.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, and Danny and I were talking about how she also used to roller skate, but
Yeah,
you
I said I
mentioned
have roller skated. I'm not like a roller skater. I can go forwards. I can crash into walls to stop. I don't know how to stop. And I can kind of turn corners.
but how long did you do it? How long were you
Just
at
like
it?
on and off. Like I think when I was a kid, I had roller skates. You know, like the really cool, like retro, like 90s ones, like the
Yeah.
little roller boots. I had some of those. And me and my friends used to skate around all the time. So I don't know why I never actually learned how to be good. But just never
Oh,
did. And then there was like a rink in Norwich, and we used to go there and they used to and like skate around. But you have to go in like the direction they told you, and then they'd be like change and whatever. But yeah, I just never really learned how to do it. So like I know I can go forwards and I can, but yeah, stopping backwards, like tricks is just not the one.
I'm fascinated by it. I'm obsessed to the point I'm now watching YouTube videos of these insane like Americans doing all these cool moves, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
I feel like you'd be able to do that because you're really good at ice skating. I've seen a video of you on ice where you
I'm
were
doing
doing
it.
like a spinning round thing. I guess it's like the same
Yeah.
thing.
It's finding the balance, but I when I come up, you're gonna get your skates off. You're gonna dust
Okay.
them off, and we're so gonna go. We'll stay
Well,
away from cliffs because
yeah,
that's
I
not,
mean there is like a long like cycle path,
yeah.
which would be really good. And there's one that goes along the beach, which is away from the cliffs. So that
Yeah,
could
we'll get
that
Cheryl.
could be a thing. Yeah, you could definitely do it along the beach.
Yeah. I love that though. And
It'd be
that is
our own little version of like LA cycling on the beach, but it would be not cycling. That's what we were also talking about yesterday, roller skating on the beach, but um,
yeah,
not
no,
something.
I love that. That's yeah. And that's something that I think neither of us knew about each other was the skating
Yeah,
stuff.
like I haven't skated for years, years and years. I've got no, when I used to live in London, we used to have an underground car park, and me and my friends used to like take ours down there as well. But well,
I
you're having
have
lessons, so maybe you'll be able to teach me how to do things properly, like how to
I'm
stop.
learning, yeah, my
Stopping would
lesson,
be handy.
yeah, lesson the other day, which is at an actual rink, which I really love called Roller City in Rochford. And the guy was teaching me actually how to stop. And he's like, okay, you don't, you're fine. You just practice it, just practice it. And then he was teaching me fundamentals, which is like going up and balancing just on your toes or on your heels. And it's so weird to get used to that. So
Yeah.
it's
You're
odd.
really good at like learning new skills though, because you'll be like, right, I'm going to do screen combat. Right now, I'm going to do roller skating. I'm going to do yoga.
I like to think that I'm very Starlight Express. So you just stick me on my skates and I'll just be razzly dazzly.
Have you
You'll
seen
see me.
Xanadu? Are they on skates in Xanadu or have I made that up?
No.
I
I
don't
feel
know if
like
they are. Maybe I'm just confusing that with Starlight Express. I'm gonna Google it at half time and have a look.
love it. I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that. I think that's great.
And but then you need like the costume, like a skating costume. Or you could be like Barbie in the Barbie movie.
Oh, she's skating too, isn't she?
Yeah, and they actually sold those costumes in, was it Primark that did them? They did like copies of the Barbie costumes, but you could never get like I could never get my size. Or they did like the girl one and the boy one, but you could never get them. Like they sold out really quickly. I think I did get
Yeah.
like sleep masks and things, but
Yeah.
I don't know how Kyle would have felt if I'd been like, right, you are dressing up as Ken and I'm dressing as Barbie and we're going to the beach, and he'd be like, no. Saying that, he's at Disney World at the moment. He's just bought this Mickey Mouse top and I'm like, I hate it. You're not wearing that with me. So I feel like the Barbie top is not so bad.
Because
It's
of
like
the
the American like baseball tops, which I hate anyway. Like they're really very like 90s-esque.
I
And it's got
love
Mickey
those.
Mouse on it. He'll listen to this and he'll be like, she's slating my shirt on her podcast because he listens to these when he's in his car.
That's cute. I like that.
I know. I'm like, do you not get bored of my voice? And he's like, no, I like listening to you.
Aw. I
It's
used to
just
do
funny.
that with Brad's YouTube videos that he'd be on. So driving to York and I'd just be listening to him give advice to actors on acting. And it was I was always like, I really like your advice. It's good. It's
Yeah,
really
you're
good.
like, why don't you give me the advice?
Oh, exactly, exactly. Well, I'm pleased to say he's got three films that he's in line to direct now.
That's
So
exciting. I'll have to bring him on. We'll have to sort out a date for him to come on the show.
yeah, I know he would love it. But it's been a while since you because last time you saw him was Christmas. It was
Yes,
a
when we
Christmas
were,
video.
was it
We
Christmas? Yeah, we were doing our like
were,
this Christmas video. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I
with the
haven't really been down. Like I came to London for like one day last month, but it was literally went in, did an event and got straight on the train home. Like they'd booked my trains for me. So it was like I didn't have any time to do anything or see anybody.
yeah, and honestly, I'm the same. It's just like you're in, you're out. It's such a quick turnaround with things and jobs
Yeah.
that you're like, okay, do I even tell the person I'm in their area or do I
Yeah,
just
because
say,
it's just time, isn't
yeah,
it? Like I thought I'd come to London more, but I don't really like if I'm working in London, then I come down. But like obviously I was there for Horror on Sea and I was there at Romford. So I might be down at some point because I know there's some other bits and pieces happening this year. So I maybe
let me know. We'll try.
I'll let
We'll
you
get
know.
together. But if not, I'm just gonna come up.
Yes, you need to come up while it's still summer. Welcome back to the Scream Princess podcast. Welcome back to part two of this week's Scream Princess podcast with me, Danny, and Miss Megan Lockhurst. So I think we'll actually talk a little bit about film in this half. I feel like the first half we just chatted. I knew that would happen. We'd get on here and it would just be like one of our lockdown Zoom chats without the face mask and without the wine. And we'd just end up gossiping about all kinds of different things, none of them relevant.
Well, that's what you get when you get friends together,
It
isn't it?
is, it is. I know. I was almost going to say, should we do it as like a lockdown, like, should we have face masks and things? And I was like, she's never going to want to go on a podcast with a face mask on her face.
I don't think I
When
ever
they
want to
start
share
drying and they're all cracking.
people.
Like, remember
Yeah.
we had the sheet ones and we all looked really funny.
You had a gizmo one, didn't you? The
Yeah.
eye.
Yes.
I've never laughed so hard in my life.
Was that actually, were we actually on a Zoom chat or did I just send you the video of that one?
Oh, we were on a
Well,
Zoom
we were on a
chat.
Zoom chat. Well, so we had, like the sheet masks and some of them have pictures on and it just looked ridiculous.
It was hilarious.
It was hilarious.
I think you should try to dig out a photo of that and
I don't
pop it.
think I've got any. I don't know whether it'll be on like my Instagram stories or something. I feel like it was so ridiculous. I didn't mind posting it at the time, but I don't
It
know
was, yeah. I mean, it
where I'd
was
find it.
something to behold,
It
definitely.
was, it was, it was worth it just to make everybody laugh. So, what is the first horror film you did?
Oh, first one was with a Welsh director who's very sadly passed away now called Andrew Jones. And it was Robert the Doll, which is right there.
There on the wall.
There on the wall. So yeah, it's basically about this haunted doll who is gifted to a child by his nanny, and the doll pushes me down the stairs. And I mean, I don't meet my device. They were going to bring me back for the second one, and
Okay.
then they had to change the story around, so
Oh,
my character just never came back. But no, it was a good little sort of introduction to filming. It was filming in Wales. A lot of the films I tend to do are filmed in Wales.
yeah.
Wales and York, I would say, are my top two places that I tend to be a lot for the filming. But it was great. And then Andrew was known for his horrors, so I went
Mm,
on to do a lot of his other horrors like Halloween Jack and Jurassic Predator and all of those really wonderful, low budget, crazy scenarios. Um,
interesting.
I don't know about you, but like a lot of the times I get questions like, "Oh, I'd be too scared," or "How could you do that?" I find it hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
it's
know,
not scary when you're on set. Like, you might have to act scared, but you like if you're against an actor who's playing a killer, well, you've probably just been having a cup of tea with the actor 5 minutes earlier, or like sharing a slice of pizza or something. Like it's
yeah,
completely different. And then once you're on set, you're back in your character and you you have to like tap into something. But yeah, it's not really scary. And I'm really funny with like wounds. So I was in the bath the other day shaving my legs, and I'd taken my false nails off. And like so your nails like really flimsy. And I don't know how I did it. I shaved my legs and I had my hand on my leg and I somehow caught my finger. It was like there with the razor, but it sliced through the nail
Oh,
like into like my finger, and it was on the side as well. It wasn't even like in the middle where I was like
no.
what can I do with it. And I was like, when you look at it for a minute, and it wasn't really the pain, it was like I looked at it and when the blood just starts coming out, and I was like and then like things really make me cringe, especially like a cut through your nail, the side, like if anyone's ever had a nail like caught the side of it and ripped your nail off, it's like the most painful thing. It didn't actually hurt that badly considering it had gone straight through my nail into my finger, but it was just the cringe factor of it. And I think I had a busy week and I couldn't, like, I was like, I'm gonna have to get my nails done. Like, I didn't want to have to get acrylics again, but I was like, that's the only thing that's going to stop it from actually coming off, because I caught it a few times. I was putting something in the bin and I caught it on the bin bag, and I was like, it's going to rip off. So I ended up having had done them again. But like, I'm really cringy at real life things, like so real blood or like real injuries. Even if someone's telling me about how they've like, popped a shoulder out or whatever, it really makes me cringe. Whereas, like, obviously on set, it's not real blood, and
And
it's not a real leg. It's not.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just
it's
completely different.
amazing. Yeah, it's amazing what they can do in edit and
Yeah,
this, how they can really enhance how the blood is or what it looks like. And oh gosh, I'm like you though. Like the Achilles heel is my big one.
yeah, I don't like that. What's that? Is it a hostel where they?
Um,
Is it a
I
hostel?
think they do it in Hostel. They do it in Pet Cemetery as
Right,
well.
I
That's
haven't seen that one, so they must do it in hostel
if
as
you
well.
do watch the
Mm,
original, don't
yeah,
watch the remake. But yes, slice right into it and just fall it.
just
No, I
anything, any wounds, like oh no,
yeah, I can't deal with that. I don't like real life pain, but when it's, when you're literally getting your makeup done, you look out of your trailer and you see a zombie there drinking a Starbucks,
yeah.
like that is just wonderful. I can deal with that.
Zombies
That's
drinking Starbucks. Yeah, or mannequins
yeah.
doing mannequins cooking you
They
dinner.
had they had some really, really cool makeup effects. Do you
Yeah.
remember those girls they were just posed in the one room and they were all bandaged up, but the bandages had like
I
blood seeping.
wasn't on that day, was I?
Oh, I don't know. I just remember seeing the actual setup of it,
Hmm.
and it looked so good. It
Or
did
maybe I
look
was there. Maybe it was like a day where it's just so sunny outside and I wasn't doing anything, so I was
like
outside. I think I
yeah.
had a couple of days off, didn't I? So I went
You
shopping with Cheryl
thought maybe
and
Cheryl,
went
yeah.
shopping with Cheryl. And yeah, like I had a couple of days and suddenly we had the dog, didn't we? So I was like, I just had like nice little time outside with her in the sun.
Yeah, that's nice.
It
But yeah,
was.
it was as I say, yeah, any kind of special effects and stuff that are done in horror, especially the practical effects, I just find interesting.
Yeah.
So to do these films and to follow a story and to kind of be in the middle of it, there's nothing really like it. Like I like action and I like, doing drama and I like
Yeah.
I like other genres, but there's just nothing to me like a horror because it's so
Yeah.
surreal.
Yeah. I find them really fun to film. I find, funnily enough, the people that work in horror tend to be really nice. And
Yeah.
just like everyone who does horror because they love horror. It's not just like this is just a job and we just want to make money. It's like we just love horror. So I feel
Yeah.
like everyone's in a good mood because they want to be there and they're doing what they want to be doing. And I feel like there's a lot of creativity, especially with like low budget horror, because you're having to come up with these effects, or whether practical or whether they're, VFX or whatever. But you have to do that on like this minimal budget. So everyone's kind of like got really special talents to be able to pull it off with very little money sometimes.
Yeah, and it's the one genre that forever has stayed consistent in
Mm,
terms of its fan bases,
yeah.
bringing in money into the box office, things like that.
Mm,
Like we go to the cinema a lot, and recently slasher films have come back. They're making a big
yes.
comeback. And we saw Clowns in a Field, which
Okay.
was kind of predictable. I don't love clowns. They don't really scare me.
Yeah, they don't
Um,
really scare me. I like them. They're kind of creepy but not scary.
yeah,
Haven't had any problems.
scarecrows. I'll be out of there with a scarecrow,
Oh,
but
I think
clowns.
I saw that somewhere recently. Were you on another podcast and you mentioned this? And I was like, she's scared. I meant to bring that up actually. I was like, are you scared of scarecrows?
I do not like scarecrows. That yeah, no,
Oh.
crazy, creepy.
What happened to make you scared of scarecrows?
It was the children's book, Scary Stories 3, which they've
Oh,
actually made a movie about a couple years back.
right.
And there was a story about a scarecrow called Harold. And these like two sort of farmers, like they put him in the field and they were kind of getting lonely, so they were kind of like abusing Harold and shoving food in his face and all
Oh,
sorts. Anyways, what happens is, they're coming back for the season, and one of them forgets the milking stool, and they do like a rock, paper, scissors to go back and get it. And when the guy goes back, Harold is there trotting on the roof with like no hands or feet. And then like the guy just never comes back. So his friend goes to find him, and it's like his skin is just stretched across like the leather thingy. And honestly, like it creeped me out to the point I'm like, no, I can see
yeah,
that
I think
happening.
if you'd grown up in the UK, we used to have a TV show called Wurzel Gummidge. And like
Oh,
now
what?
looking back, he's super creepy to look at. But for some reason when I was little, I didn't think he was creepy. But also for me, if I think of a scarecrow, I think Wizard of Oz, and then he's not very scary.
Oh. Yeah, like that's not a scary scarecrow, but
No.
you put a leather mask on him
Yeah.
and
I
up in the
feel like
field.
I bought Kyle one of the Goosebumps, like a series of the Goosebumps books for Christmas, and he was reading them, and I think he had read one about a scarecrow. So
Yeah,
I
you can
guess
make this pretty
yeah,
scary.
you can make anything scary, can't you? That's the thing with horror as well. You can be like, right, because you're in a film called Cupid, and
Oh
it's
God,
like, yeah, but you think like Cupid, let's make Cupid scary. And also there is the movie Valentine. Have you seen that one? It's with David Boreanaz, and it's like a Cupid mask that the killer
yeah.
wears. He wears a Cupid mask and his nose bleeds. It's like really random why he had a nosebleed, but yeah,
I
like
love that.
you
That
can
was a
literally
choice.
pick anything, can't you? You can be like, right, teddy bear
Well,
murderer.
did they
Like,
Blumhouse did a teddy bear one.
did they?
See it. But they had done a teddy bear one. And then
Dolls have been like done loads and like
dolls.
and
Yeah, dolls,
the what are the puppet dolls? What are they called? Ventriloquist
marionette.
dummies
Oh,
because they're
ventrilo.
creepy.
Yeah.
What are they
Yeah, yeah,
called? Just dummies. Is that what they're called? But they're creepy. And there's Dead Silence. That one's a good one.
yeah.
Got Ryan Quanten in it.
But I think horror anyways is just consistent in like you go in if you like it, great. If you
Yeah.
don't, you're not that disappointed, you
Yeah, I
know?
think horror audiences tend to be quite forgiving. Like I actually like quite like a big budget horror. Like so and I think the thing now is when you're scrolling through Netflix and you've got all of these and you don't know what's going to be good and what's not. And I just tend to give up now when I read a book. So I've actually started going to the cinema a bit more again. Whereas
Yeah.
I used to go all the time and then I kind of stopped because I was like, well, it'll be on Netflix in like 5 minutes. But I went to see the Heart Eyes. I went to see that and obviously I went to see Beetlejuice and um what else have I seen recently? Oh, Final Destination. I went to see
Oh
that
yeah.
recently and I loved that. But then obviously that's my era. The originals are like my kind of teenage years. And then obviously I'm going to be going to see I Know What You Did Last Summer at the end of the month.
Yeah,
So
I saw that's coming out, so that's
yeah,
that's quite cool. No,
yeah.
I love, yeah, slashers are very, very in at the moment, but they will always have their audience, and it's, I know you've done some like horror fests.
Mm.
I think we both did the Hull Horror
Yeah, it's a
Fest.
shame we were on a different year.
Yeah, but like I found the people coming up to me in things that I wouldn't even think they would even notice me in,
Yeah.
and they've got my photo of that moment, and they're like, "Oh, I'm crazy about it," and it's really flattering.
Yeah,
Like
I
as
I was surprised actually at Hull because I took my pictures and I had some DVDs and things to sell, but a lot of people would come with their own stuff. So they've already got the DVD, so they'd come for your autograph on the case, or they'd come with pictures that they'd printed out, which is like and it is pictures that you just wouldn't have expected. And somebody had actually painted a film poster, and I only had a tiny, tiny role in this film, but he'd been taking it to various conventions to get all of the cast, at different events to sign it. And I just did something in London, which was a charity thing, and somebody came along and they wanted 15 pictures signed, which would have cost them a fortune. It was all for charity. So I think it was like, I think they could buy like a card with like, and you pay for so many and you can just take them to anyone and they'd sign stuff. But he had 15, which I'm sure it was about £20 a picture, but he
Yeah.
printed his own as well. So he wasn't even taking pictures that had been printed for it. And he'd found stuff like obscure pictures, like off my, I don't know, like Twitter account or like Instagram. And I'm like, why would you want that picture? But I mean, so he wanted like the more like real, you rather than like a model shot or something, which was
Yeah. It
interesting.
yeah, it is crazy what gets out there. The
Mm,
moment you're an actor, it's like, yeah, there's some, if you Google yourself, there's some funny things that come up and you're like, why am I on this? Oh
yeah.
no.
So
Yeah,
Jurassic Predator, did you actually have dinosaurs there or were you just acting to green screen?
no, it's really interesting. So they got these puppeteers in, and there was different elements of the puppet. So they would have like one piece was like a big claw. They actually did have these dinosaurs that came out of this big truck, and the guy sort of his feet were in sort of at the joint of
Right.
the dinosaur. And he stood inside it, kind of moving it. And they were very, very cool to watch. And I think on such a low budget as well. It was really
Yeah.
interesting to see how they did like the drool coming out of the dinosaur
Right.
and
How did they do it?
uh
Was it after or was it VFX or was it like
they had this weird jelly
oh they
stuff.
actually did have it.
And it just like would drip down the teeth. So that was cool. But what I will say is a lot of these times, and I still don't know if it's down to availability or I know sometimes like if a film is shot more sort of September, October, November, they get night shoots without having to shoot at night.
Yeah.
So I think that's
I hate
probably
night shoots.
so cold. I'm
Cold.
all
I should be asleep. Like
yeah, yeah. Like I would say the last couple of films I've done, Bar Havoc, which was in a studio in it was Dragon Studio in Wales. I swear to you, I am freezing cold,
yeah.
and people are just there like putting hot water bottles on your face so you can say your lines.
Yeah,
Um,
but the
on
rest of you's breathing. Yeah, I can't, like, I hate being cold. I hate night shoots. Like, and I always think, like, when you read a script, and I think, why did I say yes to this? Because I've read the script, I can see that it's outside. Like, why have I agreed to shoot outside in October or November? Like, so now I'm a bit more careful and I'm just like, no, I'm
yeah,
not doing it.
I'm,
Unless
I'm
you take
not.
me to the Bahamas, I will do a night shoot there.
It's like, why can't I be in Montenegro doing something,
Yeah, like if it's somewhere warm, maybe. But
Yeah,
I generally like to do shoots that are indoors in the daytime because also outside it plays havoc with your hair if you've got a breeze and people are trying to shoot you and they're not necessarily caring about your hair. So you're like
yeah.
doing a line and your hair's like across your face and you're like, I need to do that again and someone's not picked up on it or like, or your hair's just, it's not.
You need that continuity person.
Yes, I
That's a
know.
definite.
Which you don't get on a low budget independent. There's no one. It's you. You do your own continuity. You make sure you're wearing the same clothes. And I even did it on one of my own films. I'm wearing two different colored jeans in this.
Oh no.
I
Oh
had my costumes. I was like, right, that top goes with those jeans. That top goes with those jeans. And I had like them together. But then obviously you get to the end of a day shooting and I'm putting things together and I was sorting out everybody else's stuff. And I somehow mixed them. I don't think it's overly noticeable. I noticed it. I don't think anyone else has. No one else has picked up on it. It's not a
those
goof. It's not a goof on
those
IMDb.
those are the fun things where people, you will always get that one audience member
Yeah,
who will be like really like looking for things and they'll be like, oh, Danny's hair swapped from right to left in
yeah.
this scene. you know,
It
and they'll
was
make
on
a
Bad Moon Rising, so I had done everything on that film. I wrote it, I'd produced it, I was like acting in it, I was doing the costume, like I was doing everything because it was literally
lot.
so low budget. It was so low budget. It was like an experiment really, like to see
Yeah.
what we could do because I'd had a much bigger budget for the film I did before, but then lost all the creative control. So it was like I want to see what I can do with like literally no budget, but like I'm in charge of everything, which is great. And I'm a bit of like a like when it's like if you want something done, you do it yourself and you know it's done. But maybe I could have done with an extra pair of hands. I didn't know you
Yeah.
then. I'd have pulled all of you in and I'd had people to help. But yeah,
It does make a difference having a good team.
yeah.
So the one I was just on in at the beginning of the year, it was called Murder in the Highlands, and it was
You
a
look
cool.
so good in that, in the shots of you. Like I can't wait to see that one.
I had an exceptional team of hair and makeup,
Yeah.
and everybody was just on it. Like I have never been on a set where everybody was so happy to work together. Normally, you go into hair and makeup and somebody's like bitching about somebody else, and you always hear their like horror stories. But yeah, with this set, they everybody was just so on board, really friendly, really lovely. That one's going to Lifetime TV, which is awesome because I grew up watching Lifetime TV.
Oh.
So that's like that's a thing for me. And honestly, it's like you get a team around you that really knows their stuff and what they're doing. And I mean, Havoc was the same, but that's a multi-million pound film, right?
Mm.
So it's just like you sort of expect that level of professionalism. And even though Murder in the Highland was still high budget, you just had such extraordinary people around you
Mm.
to make sure that your hair, like I couldn't stand still for 5 minutes without hair and makeup
Did
coming
you have
over
to
and
have
doing.
a Scottish accent or were you yourself?
No, I
No.
got to be Canadian
Oh,
in
got you
it.
Canadian? Because I'd
And
really love to hear you do a Scottish accent.
no, I can't, Scottish I cannot do for the life of me. I can go.
I actually got asked recently for a film. I'm not doing it anyway, but I got asked if I could do a Scottish accent. I was like, no, no, not if you want it to sound convincing. And I think unless you're very good and very well trained in like accents and dialects and things, like you'll never sound convincing. And anybody who's from there would be like, well, that's obviously not real. I think you have to be really good. Like, and then you
Yeah,
need, you need to have spent a fortune on a coach, and so that you need a big budget for that. But
I'm impressed with people who can do accents. I really
yeah.
struggle with accents. I am what I am, and this is all you get with me.
Yeah.
Um,
I've
I've
tried to do like an Essex accent and stuff before, and even that sounds ridiculous. I was like, I'm just gonna watch some Towie and see if I can, do that.
Oh gosh, I do love the Essex accent though. I do. I get a kick out of listening to it. But I'm bad, little Essex boy.
Yeah, but he
But
doesn't have like an Essex accent. He's obviously well educated.
he's
He went to a proper school.
got a good accent. But no, it's interesting that you say, like you did everything because I have seen you do different productions and everything and going around, doing costume and one of the
Mm,
biggest things I've heard that's very difficult to get right is catering.
yeah.
Because everybody has very different food needs and wants
Mm.
and stuff. And those people who generally say, "Oh, I don't want the burger, I want the salad," then end up taking the burger
Yes.
on and somebody else is
Yeah.
stuck with it.
I was on a set once and they would ordered pizza. So everybody put in their pizza order. Now I was the only vegan, so I got my own, which was fine. And there was one lady and I think she'd invested some money into the production. And she was a nightmare on set the whole time. Like everyone was, I mean, I didn't have to be in anything with her. So I only saw her in the green room while we were waiting. And everyone was like, every time anyone would come in the green room, they were like literally like, ugh. Anyway, so she was like, oh, I'll what do you want? She said she'd order the vegetarian pizza because she's vegetarian. So they'd ordered it and nobody else wanted it. Like everybody else was happy with like, whatever. And then she started eating like the meat ones. And it's like, so you didn't need the vegetarian pizza at all. Like you could like so and that kind of got wasted. Like she ate a bit and then obviously like no one else really wanted to eat that one. So it's like she could have just had yeah, it was bizarre. But
It's yeah. That's the biggest thing that producers tell me
yeah.
is is very, very tricky. But I love that you've gotten your hands into it though. So you know how the process works and
Yeah, but
what
that's
you
only because I didn't have budget to have other people do it. So it was like, right, well, I know if I do it, it's done. Like when we did Hunger, I know you shot your scene separately, but
Oh
I
yeah.
actually, I mean, we shot it here. And it was, it was a short film. So it was like a day shoot here. And I just like cooked everything the day before and then pulled out like a big buffet on the table. I was like, here's food. And like, if I think if it's such low budget, I was like, if anyone's got dietary requirements, you have to bring your own food. But like, there's food. Obviously, it
Yeah.
was all vegan food, but people ate it. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Like, non-vegans can eat vegan food. So it's like,
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, I've had vegan food and it's lovely.
yeah,
So
like I got pizzas that I just like cooked and sliced. And then I did like a quinoa salad and a pasta salad. And then there was like, like picky bits. So
yeah.
it was, yeah, just like a
Make
buffet.
make me hungry.
Oh, but
Ah,
yeah,
yeah, it's
you shot your scene for me all by yourself. But I knew you'd nail it because
well,
I was like, you're very good at your like presenting on green screen type thing. So I was like, that's exactly what I need. And then Brad obviously jumped in to play the zombie or the cannibal.
we were in stitches with that because he's like, what do you need me to do? And I'm like, all you have to do is when I say this last line, tackle me into the couch, fall off camera.
Was he like, why?
He was in hysterics because like sometimes I do have to get him to do really weird things.
Yeah.
So the other day I was doing this audition and we basically I was at an altar getting married and I said to him just I don't know, be at the altar with me behind the camera and just say stuff. So you're seeing all these like, so would you have me forever, Megan? Would you? And I couldn't keep a straight face. So we do because of the weird auditions we have to do,
Yeah.
um, or he helps me with that side. It's I think when I was like, oh, you just have to tackle me into this couch for Danny's scene, he's more worried about like, okay, but what are we shooting at? Is this like 4K or is this like what?
Yeah, you're like, she doesn't care.
Like he very much looked at this at like a director's
Yeah,
point of view.
director's
And
point of
I'm just
view.
like, look, I'm just gonna act it, just do it. So the first one we did, he's like, okay, I'm gonna really tackle you. I'm really gonna give it. And oh my God, when we watched it back, we fell over laughing. It was just, this is amazing. I hope she likes it. So I think I do a
Yeah.
British accent, don't I? And it's
Yes, you did.
Andrew.
Yeah, because it is in England. So I was like, and I know at the time you had been learning a UK accent. You'd been like practicing. So I thought, well, you know what? It's nice to give people because although I was giving you this role that you had to shoot it yourself and you're basically doing stuff that you always do. I thought, well, it's nice to give somebody something where they get a chance to do something that they don't usually get. So I thought the British accent would, you know, I mean, it would work because obviously the film was set in the Northeast because I just moved up here and I wanted to cast locally and I wanted to try and get local crew if I could to see, how I'd go. So obviously I was here, Kyle was here. I brought my DOP up from London. And then my cousin's daughter is an actress, so she was the one who played the other girl. I can't remember what the character was called now. Was it I can't remember what the character's name was. And then I cast locally. So I actually held like online auditions for the other characters, but I knew I wanted you to play that role. Um, but then obviously, because obviously everyone up here was pretty much Geordie. Jake was Australian, so he was somebody I did know. I'd worked with him years ago, and he lives in York, funny enough. And then obviously there was me. So, but apart from myself and Jake, everybody was Geordie. So it kind of fitted that they were in the same area. And but then I just thought the UK news, like I feel like newsreaders. They used to have like the RP British accent, and every newsreader, like if you watch any old news clips on YouTube, or if you watch like David Attenborough presenting years ago, and the radio, everybody had these RP accents. And I feel like they still should, because half the time now you're watching TV and like people are pronouncing things wrong. And, I just feel like it's bad English. And I don't know. I feel like for things like the BBC, you should have a BBC accent. I feel like that should have carried on through. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I was like, no, I
The
want I want my
accent.
newsreader to be English. I want them to have a proper British accent.
So when I was getting into acting, I was working for the BBC or just about to work for the BBC, and it was just like a PA gig kind of
Mm.
thing. And I wanted to be a presenter, And this woman I was working with was like, "Oh, talk to this guy." I can't even remember his name, but he was very, very English, very quiet, proper, and just,
Did you have a little finger that stuck out when you drank tea?
he was on a board. And anyways, I had a phone call with him, and he turned around and he's like, "You're never gonna work for the
Oh,
BBC as a
really?
presenter." And I was
But
like,
you
"What
look at, no, because you look at people now who work, maybe not on the BBC, but on ITV or
now?"
other
But
channels.
yeah, this was going back about 15 years ago, I would say. And he was
Oh,
really good about it. He was like, "Because you don't have a nice accent." And I was just
you do
like,
have a
"Oh,
nice accent, but you have a Canadian accent.
yeah." But I think because the BBC was so British and it was
Hmm.
just so
Do you know, what I
old.
think it's ruined it. I think like reality TV's ruined it because now you've got reality TV people who have become presenters just because they were on some crap reality show and they all have terrible accents.
Yeah, I'm this.
Bar the ones from Made in Chelsea. I still don't believe in reality TV, but at least they can speak properly.
I just don't watch it. What am I watching?
No.
Oh, I'm watching the season 3 of Squid Game at the minute.
Uh, I've just finished watching Dynasty, and not the original, but the like it was kind of it's a reboot. It's not a remake. It's a reboot. Like Graham said, my friend Graham's, he said it's very very different. But I started watching it. It's on Netflix, and I was obsessed. And I literally binged it in a month. It's like 5 seasons. It's so good. It's
Is
so
it?
good. If you like quite trashy, it's very glamorous. It's very trashy. It's like further in a few seasons in, it starts becoming a bit musical and like burst into song and stuff. It's so good.
Love a bit of bursting into
I
song.
feel like you'll love it.
Always happy with
I
that. Well,
actually
what's
text Cheryl about it the other day. I was like, you need to watch Dynasty. It's so good. I'm really sad now that it's finished and there is no more.
you have to start again.
I
Start.
know. Or I might like go back to Desperate Housewives because it's been like, years since I've watched that. So I might
I
kind of,
never finished it. The writer's strike happened.
yeah,
So
then
I was,
it kind of knocked everyone out of sync.
yeah. Yeah, it just, and then they skipped forward. They did that thing where they skipped forward several years.
Yeah,
So he's older and the kids have grown.
you kind of lose where
Yeah.
you're at.
I don't like what my thing is. I don't like when stories get too convoluted. Keep it simple, keep it straight. That's it. That's all you need to do for me to like your film.
Oh, there's quite
Keep
a
it.
lot of twists and turns in Dynasty, but it's still very
Oh,
watchable.
it depends. It just depends. I like I like a straight story, but that doesn't necessarily equate to television because
Mm,
television is that longevity.
yeah.
If I could recommend a film right now, it's the new F1 film that's just come out with Brad Pitt.
Okay.
So, so good.
I'm looking forward to the new Jurassic Park.
Oh, Danny, I can't. Like, I will.
What?
I will. They've cast it wrong. They need
Well,
no
watch it first and see.
Scarlett Johansson. I'm a fan of hers, and I think no, no. What are you
Do
doing in
you?
my
I
film?
don't know. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know who I'd have cast, but I'm going to give it a chance. I mean, I think it will be good.
I will go.
I actually love all of them. Like I love Jurassic Park. I remember I actually watched that in Canada for the first
My
time
favorite
many years
film.
ago.
Yeah,
And then I didn't even mind the second one and the third one. And then when Jurassic World came out, like I loved them because they're different. They're not like copies. And like, I know the
yeah.
last Jurassic World was very like out there, but I still liked it. It's like it was better
Oh,
than,
the big bugs. They
yeah.
are
Yeah, I
creatures.
still liked it though, but no, I'm really excited about the new one. But is it
Oh,
out today? No, tomorrow, I think. But Kyle's not back until Sunday, so I think we'll probably go on Monday. He doesn't
yeah.
know that yet. He's probably going to want to sleep because he's coming back from America, but
You're
tough.
not allowed.
He's
No,
not
you can.
allowed. I've got dinosaurs to watch on the big screen.
Yeah, yeah. Dinosaurs say, you gotta. It's educational. It's
Yeah.
education.
Oh, we're running
No,
out of time, and we didn't even get to talk about Summerween, but we'll have to. No, I know. Like
it's coming.
it is Summerween now, so it's time to start decorating for Summerween, basically. So I'm going to let you go off and do that.
I've got too much to do. I gotta find my next role. That's my thing. That's
That's
good.
your
Oh,
next thing.
speaking of because for those who don't know, Danny and I and Cheryl, we did a song called Trick or Treat,
You
which
did.
has been out for several years now, and it's got its own little fan base, which seems to grow every year. But I was in New York the other day,
Right.
and we were at Motion, and there was a guy there, and he looked at me. He's like, "You did that Halloween video," and I was like, "Trick
Oh,
or
no way.
Treat." Yeah, he totally knew it. He's like, "Yeah, I I'm like,